This is Viva Fry.
I'm Dr. Peter McCullough.
This is Tom Luongo.
This is Chuck Prodnick.
This is Alex Kreiner.
Hey, this is Brad Wall.
This is JP Sears.
Hi, this is Frank Peretti.
This is Tammy Peterson.
This is Danielle Smith.
This is James Lindsay.
Hey, this is Brett Kissel, and you're listening to the Shaun Newman Podcast.
Welcome to the podcast, folks. Happy Thursday. How's everybody doing today? Well, when we start this sucker, we're in the new studio now, and pretty surreal feeling to finally get to record the first one in there. Before we get to that, let's talk a little silver gold bull, shall we? When it comes to questions you may have around buying, selling, storing, or using your retirement accounts to invest in precious metals, look no further than Silver Gold Bull. Down in the show notes, you can get in contact with Grahame via text or email, and if you reach out to him, he can walk you through all those details. You can also visit silvergoldbull.ca or .com, and just make sure on any purchases that you make, you reference the Shaun Newman Podcast. Guardian Plumbing and Heating, yes, they are the sponsor of the Blue Collar Roundtable. We got one of the guys from Guardian on the podcast today. But these guys have been keeping homes, farms, and businesses running smoothly since 2010. And they have the Guardian Efficient Grain Dryer and Guardian Power Stations. They aren't just available here in Lloydminster. They're available all across Canada. The Power Station is an absolute game changer, giving you 2-for-1 utilities, heat and electricity from the same reliable system. It's an innovative way to keep your operation running smoothly and save on energy costs. Whether it's expert service, cutting-edge power solutions, or advice you can trust, Guardian Plumbing and Heating has your back. You can visit them at guardianplumbing.ca. Ignite Distribution is a high-service supply company based in Wainwright, Alberta, specializing in automotive parts and a wide range of additional products, including safety equipment, welding supplies, fasteners, and janitorial items. Operating as a Napa Auto Parts retailer, Ignite Distribution emphasizes exceptional customer service and inventory management solutions to reduce downtime and purchasing costs for businesses and individuals. You can get a hold of them at 780-842-3433. That's Shane Stafford, and tell them I sent you. If you're looking for a new read or an audiobook to get into, the new dystopian adventure series from author, podcaster, fellow Albertan, and podcast guest, I might add, and Drew Weatherhead has it out now. Fractures in Love is the first installment in a 4-book series that takes the reader on an action-packed ride in a mysterious world defined by a battle between chaos and order, between passion versus control, ending in an all-out showdown with the existence of an entire population up for wager. Fractures in Love is available in paperback or hardcover on Amazon, as well as full-length production-quality audiobook read by the author at fracturesbook.com. The Mashspiel is in Calmar, Alberta, January 17th, and if you're looking to be, you can sign up as an individual or as a team of 4. The link is in the show notes. It's going to be an easy, laid-back day with a little bit of curling involved, if that's what I can call what I do on the ice. And would love to have you there. If you're part of the mashup crew, you're going to fit in like a dirty shirt. If you're part of the SMP crew, you're going to fit in like a dirty shirt. The Cornerstone Forum returns March 28th at the Weston Calgary Airport. Yes, we're returning to Calgary. We got some familiar faces coming back. Tom Luongo, Alex Kreiner, Matt Ehret, Tom Bodrovics. Toews is going to be there. And we got some new faces that we've announced so far. Vince Lanchi, Chad Prather, Karen Katowski, Sam Cooper, and more to come. You can get your tickets at showpass.com/cornerstone26. It's also down in the show notes as a link. And make sure when you're checking out that you grab a free complimentary ticket to the Friday night social, which is happening at the Westin. And there's a hotel booking link there as well. Substack, free to subscribe to. We've been releasing all the episodes on Substack, so that has been new. Been getting great feedback, honestly, from that. And if you want to be a part of that conversation, sign up for Substack. It's free. You can also become a paid member. It's the one place you can support the SNP. If you're listening or watching on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, Substack, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to leave a review. And if you're enjoying the show, share it with a friend. All right, let's get on to that tale of the tape. Our first guest is a co-owner of Guardian Plumbing and Heating. Our second, owner of Renegade Acres. I'm talking about Joey Stephan and Caleb Toews. So buckle up. Here we go. All right, welcome to the Shaun Newman podcast and a Guardian Plumbing Heating Blue Collar Roundtable. I'm joined by Caleb Toews, Joey Stephan. Gentlemen, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Good morning.
Oh, wait a second. I got you there. Try that again, Caleb.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
I forgot I switched you to a different spot. So, I don't know. You were asking me if I had a plan for this. I'm like, I don't know. You're the first podcast in the new studio. I just thought we'd talk about building things. Without your guys' help, I don't know. Yeah, certainly this maybe happens, but it doesn't happen the way it did. And I look at the floor. I look at some of the things that are in here, and you two had a lot of input on that. So, I don't know. I wanted to just talk about a project and building things. You guys get to do it an awful lot more than me, and when we first started on this building, I'm sure everybody thought I was a touch bit crazy, but I don't know. Thanks for hopping in and doing this. Before we get to anything, here.
Well, thank you.
So that hasn't changed. The first in studio, we got to give out an ounce of silver. Shout out to Silver Gold Bull. Anybody who comes in studio now comes in the new studio, getting a 1 ounce silver coin. So, the price of that keeps going up.
Yeah, no kidding. That's sweet. Thanks, Shaun. Thanks, Silver Gold Bull.
Now, it being a Guardian Blue Collar Roundtable, maybe Guardian should probably say something. I don't know what you got. Christmas deals going on right now, Joey?
Yeah, you know what? We try to help people out around Christmas, and we people like to shut down over Christmas, so our guys also like to take a little bit of a break, and that's when we're most forgived, when we shut down for a week or maybe two. And we're Christmas time. There's a lot of people. We're going to have a really cold winter or Christmas. It sounds like December. There's some sort of story that I don't know that something on the polar ice caps is cooling down here for the month. Blaine was trying to explain it to me, and yeah, we'll see. It sounds pretty cool. The colder it is, the more our business is driven. So we're all right with cold and making it warm.
Does building things ever get old? Like you guys both are a part of countless projects. I'm sure they aren't all quite similar to this, but does it ever get old? Like putting your hands to something?
I don't think it does. I guess I mean, it gets old when you have when nothing goes your way, but it's usually bad planning but no, I find building is when you actually can make something with your hands, and I think it's what we're meant to do. Everybody like to build things. We got video games now where kids are building things virtually, and those are the kind of the most popular ones where they're Minecraft, right? And everybody wants to build, but if you can actually do it in the real world and you can look at it and run into customers years later that are still happy and things like that, it's pretty fun.
Well, the part that they skip out on with the video games is when it gets hard, they can stop, right? And when it comes to really building things, the hardest part is selling it. And then the second hardest part is completing it, right? And it's that in-between stage where it gets hard. And then getting it done, that's the fulfillment that most tradespeople appreciate. It's that it's done and you get to have a happy customer. So,
Yeah, actually on the topic of video games, though, I actually think it's good to limit how much they do play.
Screen time in general.
Yeah. Well, and those... Screen time is one thing, but when you're using up all those creative juices too, mm-hmm. right? Like you can sit and watch a movie, you're not using, or, Mario Kart, you're just racing your buddy. But when you're actually building things, you're actually taking that desire to build, that desire to create, that desire to leave something behind, and you're doing that virtually instead of in reality. And unless you're building an app or something but when it's just purely for entertainment, I think you're taking that away from the kids.
One of the things, I'd never played Minecraft until like 3 weeks ago, and the kids were just like, you want to play Minecraft with us, right? And I'm like, not really, but I tell you what, if it means a lot to you guys, sure, I'll come play Minecraft. And I was surprised at how to, I don't know, build an axe, you actually have to put together the components and you have to, forge things and everything. I'm like, there's an educational component to Minecraft that surprised me a bit. I was actually, and Shay was walking me through it. You got to put, you can't just pull an axe out of thin air. You got to actually put these things together. Now, the time, the actual, like, putting it into reality, I'm sure a blacksmith or somebody who puts together these things is like, yeah, it's a little more than just snap your fingers and you got an axe. But at the same token, it's walking through all the different elements of what's on Earth and what's needed to build things, which surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I actually haven't ever played it.
Did you turn on the air exchanger? The funny thing about a Blue Collar Roundtable, my idea with the first podcast in here was to have guys who help build this thing. So I get them in here, and folks, for the first half an hour, Joey is up top, like, messing with things. I'm like, just leave it alone. It's been great the entire time. No, give me 2 minutes, give me 2 minutes. And now we have new sounds that have not been here, Joey, the entire time.
Am I allowed to step away?
No, you're not allowed to step away. We're in the middle of a podcast.
No, like, I want to leave.
What do you think of this place? I mean, you both walked in here when it was not this.
Yeah, the first time I was in here, you couldn't actually walk around the building. It was mostly full of, like, old barrels and junk, and you could see through the walls most places. This is quite a transformation. It's pretty cool. But
yeah, this is awesome. Yeah,
I also remember you asking, like, do you think this is a bad idea? And I'm like, no, this thing that you should restore it. It's a good idea. I'm glad you. I'm not.
I was
sure
waiting
if
for
you're glad.
somebody to be like, "This is a terrible idea. Don't do this. This is going to be a waste of your time. This thing is going to keel over and fall." Instead, everyone's like, "No, I could kind of see it." I had shout out to Stu Light. I had Stu Light, who now farms, but he still has his carpentry, obviously. And he walked in. He's like, "I don't know why you just don't build something brand new." I'm like, "I don't know." And then I had him in about a week and a half ago, and he's like, "Man, this is so cool that you followed through on this." Because I think I can't speak for Stu, but in his mind, if he was going to do it, he would have done brand new probably. I mean, everything in here is brand new, but the outside, to give the audience an idea, is not brand new. It's several years old. So
Yeah, there's moss growing on the outside. It looks pretty. Looks pretty good.
It's classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think what made it easy for Caleb and I to fully be on board with this build was that you had lots of other ideas before this, and they were big, and they were going to be a long-term plan, like a lot of work and a lot of, almost a couple of years worth of work. And this was a really cool idea, and it was something you could crush in a season, which was pretty exciting.
well, you're speaking of building things. You guys built a brand new shop.
Yeah.
Building. I don't know. Is it both? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a giant building. It's a piece of work, that thing. When you talk about projects.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. We should have maybe built it a few years ago when it was half price. But we're pretty excited. And you know what, our new office, most offices, everyone's fighting over the temperature. And our office, each room has its own air conditioning, its own in-floor heating, so there'll be no wasted energy. It'll be super comfortable. It will be self-powered. At this moment, the combined heat power system's not on our building. And but yeah, we're very thankful, and we all have spaces again. And
when you say self-powered, are you talking like you're going to generate your own power from boilers and stuff, or am I just?
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah. So we generate the power, and then all the heat goes into heating the building and making it efficient.
Get away from a power bill to heat the thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Keep your gas bill the same and get rid of that electric bill.
My electrician was out the other day, and he came to the house and was like, "I'm going to turn the power off." And Joey put one of these systems in our place, and so the electrician goes out, and there's a little flicker on the lights, and then I'm running out there in my socks because I realize that the backup power is now kicked on, and he might be working with live wires. So it was he actually would have been working with live wires, so it was good that I had
That's awesome.
gone on and let him know. So yeah, it's working good.
Perfect.
But, yeah. But
Yeah. Caleb's system's pretty cool, and his combined heat power isn't on yet. When I went out there to turn that on, he was trying to use his garage as a cold storage at that moment, and so I made sure everything else was working, and I can come do a walkthrough and a touch up at some point when I finally make it out there to see again.
You guys are in an interesting area. Because you can see when projects are being started, when they're being built, and when you talking about Lloydminster here for a second, you drive around. There's a lot of vacant buildings, right? Like I'm not like overstating that, am I?
No,
That's right.
Like there's a lot of open buildings that could be transformed not relatively quickly. I'm like a mutual friend of ours, Robbie and Culligan are taking the old OJs and are gonna redo that building. I don't know the timeline. Sorry, Robbie, I should have asked. That's been ongoing, but like, do you think people are building things anymore, or is it going a different way? Like, we have so much changing in society right now. Like, I'd never put together a project, so like, I kept saying on the podcast, I'm sure people were like, when is he going to get in this thing? Because we started talking about it over a year ago. And every time I got close, I'm like, yeah, we're going to be close. And then, me not knowing projects, I'm like, oh, and I forgot about that, and I forgot about that, and I forgot about that, and I forgot about that. So it took well over a year from start to not even finish, because obviously the one feature wall in here is still probably about a month, I'm going to guess, away from being finished. But just curious, because like, you guys build things all the time. You're always, in the new projects, and you get to renovate projects and put new things in old buildings, that type of thing. Do you think more of it is happening, or is it, I don't know, stagnant?
Well, for Lloydminster, like, we lost the oil money in 2015 or 2016, whenever, right around then. And we had a lot of empty buildings, a lot of big companies, Slumberjay, and a lot of these big companies that were in Lloydminster disappeared. So we're just starting to fill up all those shops again. I think we're running out of vacancy, which is good. Homes, like, we lost a lot of people during that time as well. And so house prices are just starting to climb now after 10 years, which is pretty wild. So I think we're going to see a lot of building happening, not the 400 houses a year in our little community like we used to, but without the economy changing. But we're getting Costco. That was a big talk on our drive in today. That's supposed to bring, what was it, 250,000?
Yeah, about 250,000 people, shoppers, yeah.
Yeah, shoppers to Lloydminster. And there's people that are scared that their business are going to slow down, but this is 250,000
people coming to the city. Yeah. Imagine what that's going to do for traffic and everything. Like, it feels busy right now. Imagine that many people coming to town next year.
Well, no PST. Like, it's gonna be really good for Lloydminster, and we've heard I think it was Grand Prairie. When Grand Prairie got Costco, it grew big time, and it was really good for the economy there. So I'm hoping the same.
Yeah, as far as new builds, like Joey said, like the oil and gas, we used to do piles of work for guys that had a couple oil trucks and, worked out of their yard, and everybody needed a little shop to park them in. And we haven't, I don't know, it's been 10 years at least, probably, since we've done things like that. It's cowboys now that have money. So that's typically who you're working for, but it's, I do hope to see the oil and gas come around.
10 years ago, you were doing concrete for new builds, new shops, that type of thing. Not anymore?
Well, we are still, but it's just not the same people. It's not the same kind of people. It's not oil and gas guys anymore. It was always oil and gas guys that had the money to spend. And it's just, not that there's not money. They still have money. I think they're pretty conservative. They don't want to get out in front of their skis right now with a liberal government that we have putting the brakes on everything, and legislation that they can pull the pin on a project with. Even if they've already invested a bunch of money, it's hard to. There's just not a lot of investing in that work right now, I guess. But
well, when of all the things, like, obviously in the studio here, it's easy to talk about the woodworking. So shout out to Josh, who did all the custom cabinets and everything, right? Because it's just like visual. The other thing that pops in pictures all the time is the floor, and tons of people have come in like, what is this? And the harder thing to explain is what Guardian does, because I'm like, I don't even know. Like, people come in. Last night we were in here, book club came in, and we were just testing out camera angles and audio and a whole bunch of different things. And within like the first 5 minutes, Harley's sitting there and he's rubbing his foot. He's like, "Is the floor warm?" I'm like, yeah, it is. But it's hard. I don't know how to. I mean, obviously it's in-floor heat, but I'm like, I don't know how to actually, other than a picture of what you guys did. It's hard to explain to somebody what Guardian did in here, and yet it makes it like we're sitting here and it's like ridiculously comfortable. Is that I don't know if there's you probably can rattle off better than I can how it feels in here and the floor and everything and what you guys did to it.
Yeah, it's just simple in-floor heat, but a lot of people don't put the right outdoor reset on it, so it overheats and the floor's too hot. A lot of mechanics you'll hear, "Oh, I don't like working on heated concrete because it's too hot." Well, it's just because they're used to systems that are running not properly. And yeah, so proper air quality is air changes with outside, and you have that happening in here. And you have in-floor heat for the winter, which means you're not cooking your head. You're comfortable where you're supposed to be. And then the air conditioning's mini split, so you shouldn't hear that running either when you're cooling in the summertime. So it should be just the right temperature.
Well, I mean, sitting in here in the summer when, you would have been, you guys were putting concrete in the wintertime, but then you were back out here in the summer. This place was like insanely cool with nothing going on in it, right? Because, like, I mean, spray foam on this small of a building, it's relatively shaded, everything else, right? Like, I don't even know how much AC is ever going to need to be used in here. Maybe I'm wrong.
Your electronics and the people, that's what's gonna make it needed. And I forgot we insulated it too. So it's sealed up really good. So you should use the least amount of energy needed to make it comfortable.
You brought up the Liberal government. We might as well talk about it. One of the things about having blue collar guys on is I'm always curious your thoughts on the world that we're living in right now. And Canada's a strange, odd duck. And now we have Mr. Carney as the leader. The last time, Caleb, I think you were on, Joey for sure, it was Justin Trudeau still. Now you got a new Liberal government. What are your guys' thoughts?
Oh, I think it's the government that we deserve, I guess. I guess I'm a Christian, and so I look at things through a biblical worldview, and I just look at the laws that people are tolerating, the things that we just as a society we're fine with, babies being murdered, we're fine with sodomites adopting children, and then we're surprised that we get a government that wants to hurt us with their policies. And I don't think we should be surprised. I think we should. I think our government it's voted in by people, but it's appointed by God, and so then we end up with a government that brings judgment upon our land. And I see that's how I look at it now. So I guess I'm not afraid. I mean, I'm certainly worried for our nation, but it's. I think in time, as things get worse, people will realize that they need to return to Christ and our governments as well. Like our country was founded on Christian principles and Christian laws, and God's law is not there to bind us or restrict us. It's there to actually keep us from harming ourselves, and I think our nations can also repent and go back to the covenants that the founding documents, and I think our country can see prosperity again. But until we actually do that, I kind of think we're going to stay on the same trajectory that we're on until we see repentance. But I don't know.
I agree with that. Yeah, couldn't have said that better. It's awesome. Yeah, you know what? It's what we're doing to. As long as we're lying, and that's saying boys can be girls and girls can be boys, well, we're in, how do you expect our country to get better when that's what our government is allowing?
Yeah, they were talking about what was the latest thing? It was Bukele out of El Salvador talking about incarceration can fix a country, right? Because they locked up an insane amount of people in a very short time. And Canadians are starting to talk about this. I'm like, you think Canadians are going to adopt what El Salvador did when we have, like, you know, our judicial system? Our judicial system's just so funny. Like, I mean, funny in a dark way, where you're a criminal, and if you come from a certain background, you're getting treated differently than somebody else. Not to mention, like, we have this like catch and release system on top of like 14 other things, and then you stare at El Salvador and like, we should do that. It's like, you know how bad El Salvador had to get before they did that? This is the most dangerous country in the Western Hemisphere.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then on top of that, it's the size of, you know, it's like an afterthought on the size of Alberta, right? It's a tiny little country. And Canadians are talking about it. I'm not against it. I'm just like, we can't vote out the Liberal government right now. You think we're going to get anything remotely similar to El Salvador? Like that's laughable.
Yeah, no, I agree. El Salvador. And I mean, they're in the Tucker interview with him, like he talks about praying in their cabinet meetings and in their
they've brought faith back into their government.
Yeah, that's really what they've done. They've repented as a nation, and Michael Wagner actually has a great little book. I'm drawing a blank on the name now, but it's The Broken Covenant of the Anglosphere, I think it is what it's called, and it talks about the different countries in our founding documents and how that is what they are. Like, our founding documents was a covenant, and so when you break a covenant, you can repent. You can go back to the covenant. Like, I don't know if he uses this reference, but I look at it even like a marriage. It's not if one spouse cheats, you don't actually have to get a divorce. You can have reconciliation. You can stay married. You can have forgiveness, and you can
Stop doing that stuff.
Stop doing that stuff, right? Like a covenant is there's things you must do in order to remain in that covenant. And yeah, I just, like, our laws are just, we have so many laws. We have, and then we don't need most of them. Like, if we would love our neighbors, we wouldn't drive 180 when we're passing someone. We would drive 180, but then we would slow down when we passed them to, maybe 20 over. Yeah. And then when there was nobody on the road
again. Do you
again,
drive 180?
You're just talking about the drive-in. I got you.
Yeah, I was just talking about Joey on the way in. Yeah,
I
drove
waved.
180.
I waved on the way.
Yeah. I had a young guy. We were on the way to the airport, and this guy works for a farmer, and so he has to have this because the guy wants to know how fast he's driving all the time. And his dad calls him because he's like, why? And his dad's on this app as well, I guess. He's like, why were you going 100 miles an hour? And he's like, well, I'm riding with Mr. Toews. So I do sometimes speed. Yeah.
Knocking this thing all over the place here.
I'm wondering, is the headphones bugging you?
No, it's really good. I'm just trying to find the most comfortable spot.
They're bugging me a bit. I don't like the sound of my own voice.
Well, you can take them off if you want.
Okay, I might.
I might.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Like it better without the headphones on.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It's one of the things I'm trying to figure out in here, because so the thought process on a round table, the chairs, everything, is I've watched. I've taken creative ideas from 3 guys' shows that I've watched, probably more than most, and those 3 are Joe Rogan, Shaun Ryan, and Tucker Carlson. And they all have interesting things they do. Like, so Joe Rogan always has the headphones on. Every single guest wears it. But I've worn them for so long, it doesn't bother me. And so it doesn't bother me to hear actually, it feels weird not to hear my own voice being played in real time. And yet, if you've never been around it before, that's an odd thing to have kind of echoing in your head. And yet now I feel odd if I don't have it. Yeah, so Joey's slowly taking it off as well. Okay, well, I mean, maybe that's just going to be one of the things.
Yeah, you sound better now too.
Yeah. I don't feel like I'm myself when I have them on. Like, I think you guys that are wearing them all the time, I think it makes sense. You and Joe Rogan, whoever, Shaun Ryan, you guys are in the studio all
Yeah,
the time.
but Shaun Ryan and Tucker don't wear headsets. Joe Rogan does.
Does he have the bass turned up in the mid on his voice? Because with those headphones on, he sounds like a lot tougher.
Joe Rogan?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying you're changing the EQ to make yourself sound deeper.
Possibly.
Yeah, nice place you got here. I like the chairs, the table's sweet. Yeah, you did a really nice job.
Well, the obvious reason for having you guys in is I'm like, I don't know best way to like promote what you both do, but then what you stand for, and then on top of it, like how important it was to have your companies, you two. I mean, Blaine should be sitting here as well. I just don't know like how this project comes together if you guys don't step up and do what you guys have done. Right? Like the feature wall, when it's officially up, is my best way to try and like, you know, tip of the cap, if you would. But like, I'm like, I got to have these guys on, right? Like I had a ton of people, I put it out on X. A ton of people are like, oh, you got to have somebody like just big for your first guest. I'm like, no, I want to have the guys who built things with their hands. Cause I just like actually building a project and coming in here every week to month and seeing this place like completely transform was super cool. And you guys probably get to do it daily. And so I don't know. I don't know if that, like if I'm romanticizing it, but I would assume that maybe that gets old. Maybe you come into a place and you're like, yeah, it's just another day on the job. But when you don't build things, it's just super cool to me to like come into a place that you've like constructed. Cause you know, like we drew out the studio on a napkin. I'm like, I think this is what I want, and this is where I want it to go. And then partway through, I'm like, oh, that doesn't work. I forgot about this. So we changed that. We put this there. But I mean, like this was straight out of my brain, and maybe you guys get to do this all the time. I don't know. To me, I just curious to have guys in and to talk about it, because you guys build things all the time. And for a guy who sits behind in a chair and talks to people, I don't build things all the time. I have creative conversations, but actually building something in the real world is something that is foreign to me, I guess. And that experience has been super cool. I can't put how cool it's been. It's almost been surreal.
I guess I don't want to try to derail your question there, but I think that everybody is creating still. Like even builders, obviously, in a very real way, but we're all like, everything that we do is bearing fruit, and so I guess I don't ever find. I don't know. I enjoy building things. It never really gets old, but I also enjoy having my kids around. That never gets old. I enjoy when they don't understand something and I can teach them. And I think that's kind of everybody is like, we're all creating. If you're going to just neglect your kids, you're still creating something there. You're just creating something bad. And if you're going to go to work and not work hard, you're creating a bad work environment for other people. So we're all creators. I think that's kind of how I look at life. I guess that we're all, whatever we think.
Well, maybe I
kind
just
of coming out
dabbled
our
into your
fingerprints.
world then, you know, of like building something that you can touch and see and like sit in and like, you know, all the things come together. Because I don't disagree with you. It's just this project in particular took way too much brain power, energy, trying to, in the best possible way. And normally this isn't what I do. Although in the studio that I have in town that I sit and do the virtual ones, I sat and have rejigged that room probably 50 times to get it to where I actually like really enjoy it. But like something about having a round table be built, the chairs being put in, the lights going up, all the walls, the spray foam, all of it, every step of the way was like super cool to watch and see and feel and like sense, and the smells and everything. I mean, I'm probably too once again, romanticizing it, but it's just something I don't do. So like to actually see it, I don't know. My idea for today was to talk exactly about that because you guys do it on the daily, and most people don't.
Well, in the trades, like, yeah, I do. I love seeing projects happen. And you know what? I think that you see people come and go in the trades, and you see them say they don't like their job. Well, that person that doesn't like their job, they don't like anything. Like they're never happy with anything they do in the end. And eventually they stop that because they have to at some point in life. But you know what? I no matter if I get to build it or if I get to design it and somebody else build it, I love doing that. I love to see it finished. And that's something, yeah, my dad taught us was, you know what, just love what you do, right? And we don't go to work because we would rather go to work than hang out and play with our kids, but we have to feed them. So if we're going to have to go and work, let's have fun doing it. Let's love it. Right. I think, yeah, I don't mind cleaning a sewer. If I'm making really good money, I don't care if I'm cleaning a sewer or putting together a boiler system or a combined heat power. I don't care what it is. It's just, I want my time to be used the most efficient way possible. But yeah, no, that's the thing, is people that love building, like that feeling you're getting right now, right? You know what, if you just got to choose to love it. It's just like loving your kids. Like people that say they hate their kids and they can't wait till they leave home. Well, it probably is the same way in most of their.
Do people say they hate their kids?
Oh, you hear people. Okay, maybe you don't.
I
just thought there was people out there.
No, well, no. People, I've heard people say they can't wait for their kids to leave. I've heard that,
Yeah.
and you could. I've heard that before.
I think you're extrapolating the hate because they say
Yeah.
they want them to leave. Or have you actually heard people
Yeah.
say they hate their kids?
Yeah, no, I haven't heard them say
Okay.
that, I guess. Yeah, it would be
just
more they
the
want them
inference,
to go to, they can't wait till they go to school because they can't handle being with them too much. And I think that's like being around one person too much.
I was telling you guys 2 nights ago when I was first starting to try and figure, because like a brand new like board for all the mics to go into and everything, and then camera angles and all the things. So I brought the kids out because I just needed somebody to sit there. This studio will never be that loud ever again. I was like, I might as well give them each a Coke and said to go hog wild. For 50 minutes, they were hovering on each chair and yelling into the mic. They, on the other hand, like the headphones. They put it on and they're just like, this is, and they were singing it. And they were just doing everything.
Yeah, that was a good video.
Although it is, it was a stressful moment because I'm like, just sit. I'm like, I couldn't stop laughing because I'm like, I don't even know. Like, they're just so excited. Their excitement matched my excitement for building this thing, right? I mean, obviously I wasn't singing that much, but being around my kids, that has been, well, it's been the best thing that's happened in life, right? Mm-hmm. Probably, right beside marrying my wife, right? Like, I mean, those have been really good things. And Jordan Peterson talks about it a lot. Never allow your kid to do anything that makes you hate them. I think that is actually out of his book, 12 Rules for Life, I'm pretty sure, is something along that lines, which every parent should probably stew on for a bit.
Or even annoy you. Like if they're annoying you, like obviously kids will do.
Oh, kids are going to find ways to try and pick at you.
Right, but like I just mean if there's like something they're always doing that's annoying you, it's like how bad is that going to annoy their boss or their spouse, or like help them overcome that when they're 6 instead of when they're 26 and their wife thinks they're a weirdo. But I don't know.
I'm pretty sure some days my wife thinks I'm a weirdo.
Oh yeah, my wife definitely thinks I'm a weirdo sometimes, but I have this weird tick that I do whenever I'm driving a cold vehicle and I'm imagining it all warming up, and I make a really weird face, and I'll look over and she's giving me the side eye like, who is this guy?
When you have a really cold vehicle, you what?
Well, like I imagine like the thermostat like opening up and like, letting the coolant come through to the heater core and the fans, blowing through the fins, and I'm just imagining all of that. But it's partly actually why I think I like building things, is because I visualize it all. And actually, Joey's when we talk about stuff, he visualizes stuff like that all the time as well. Lots of builders do. They can see it all. But then I'll be doing that, and I'm like absentmindedly making like a really weird thinking face, and yeah. But
Yeah, you know what? And I didn't realize how much more I can visualize it until my wife and I bought a used house, first one in this area. They're a really good price, and we're doing a reno, and I couldn't convince her that it was going to be nice when it was done. And my mother-in-law came to the rescue, which I can give her a shout out for that. And she got AI to do the reno and showed her it done. So AI got me a nice acreage to reno with my boys.
Before we talk AI, because
That's right.
that's an interesting that it drew it out for your wife. That story in itself, you wonder where we're at in 5 years with AI. But the visualization part, when I walked in here, and especially after I cleared out all the junk, because when the junk was in, you couldn't actually get a idea of the space. But I've been praying a lot, because what I wanted was a space that was essentially double. I remember thinking this. The current studio, or sorry, I guess the virtual studio now, I don't know, 12 by 12 room. And I remember thinking, man, if it was just double the length and the same width. And I was like, no. Like 14 feet wide. Just an extra couple feet. And when I measured this place out, it was exactly 24 long, so double the length. And it was 16 feet wide. And after we framed it in, it's 14 feet wide.
It's perfect.
And just having clear floors, even when it was dirt and everything, and everything looked a mess, and you had the squirrel running through the walls and everything, I just looked around and I'm like, I can just see it. And if nobody else can see it, that's totally fine. I can see it. Now, I got to put the things together to make it come to what it is now. But I'm like, I can actually see it. And I hadn't really thought about the visualization part of it that you're mentioning.
Well, and I think Caleb and I saw it done when you brought us out here. Like, we could see that when you were talking. So it wasn't a big deal for us to get on board, right? It was pretty clear what you were saying. And yeah, now it looks exactly like you were saying. So it's perfect.
Well, it doesn't look exactly like I was saying, because you remember those early conversations? If you go back, I said,
I thought there was going to be a couch and cigars in here.
We're working on it. When we had those early conversations, I was actually like, what would you guys do? That's how we got in-floor heat. That's how we got stamped concrete. Because I was going to build a wood floor. I was like, and then you're like, no, you should do concrete. And I'm like, really? Yeah, and you two started gabbing like two hens back and forth, and I wasn't even part of the conversation. I'm like, sure, yeah, you guys,
Hens,
if this is what you want, yep.
Nice. Well, I think it turned out amazing in here. Yeah, and it is. It's nice and warm. Good job.
That's what
Joey.
we interpreted. What you really wanted is what we're getting at. That's what tradespeople do.
Well, you surround yourself with good people, right? And then let them go do what they're good at, and this is what you get.
Well, and that happens lots with, not so much in commercial work, but you start doing residential work, and the husband will tell you what he wants, and this is what I want it to look like, and we're like, okay, well, we'll paint some lines on the ground first, where you want your sidewalk, and then we'll get your wife to come out and we'll paint lines where she wants it as well, and then we'll see which one you guys like better. And sometimes we have ideas as well, and we'll kind of show them our idea, because we do it all the time. And it's amazing how often you end up with kind of all three ideas. That it's they take our ideas as well, and some of theirs, and because it is you can hear people, what they want. They're not going to want to weed whip around every corner and on the front lawn, and so you put some smooth corners in there for them and things like that. But it is kind of neat, working with people and trying to hear what they are going to be happy with. But
also by drawing the lines, then you can see it.
Yeah,
I was doing that yesterday with the TV. I was trying to figure out where I wanted to put it. And so I actually taped up lines. I'm like, that looks stupid. And as soon as I taped it up, I'm like, I can't go there. And I have to move it around so that I could get it to the right. Because visualizing where it should go, okay. But then actually taping it out, gave me an actual, I didn't have to imagine it anymore. I could actually see the outline of where it's going. And when you're talking about like, I think this is what I want. And then you actually pencil it, like, oh yeah, that maybe won't work. I watched Jordan Scott do it with Dan Ray out front. He had an idea. And then as soon as he spray painted, he's like, I don't like that. And he started redoing the lines right in front of me. He's like, that doesn't make any sense. We're going to do this instead. Which there's one thing to visualize something, then there's another thing to pencil it out. That stupid wall we have rejigged several times. Actually, most of this place has been rejigged several times, if I'm being honest.
Well, whatever Joey was doing up there before just came on again. And if you'd done a wood floor in here, you would have had to do like forced air heat, and you'd have a heater coming on all the time. And this is nice with your in-floor heat. You got the heats going, and you don't even hear it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's perfect for a studio.
Now, AI, you mentioned that. I was curious. In your realms, do you see AI? Will AI ever take away a plumber or a man to lay concrete, or is there different applications where it can help? Or all the above?
Well, you know what? It's trying to take over. Some people are using it too much. It's making people dumber for sure already. I think we've seen that. And because they don't have to think it through, they let AI
do the thinking for them.
Yeah, and some people, they're going to use it in a good way. And some people are trusting it too much. Like one speaker I was listening to the other day, he asked for some stats on, I think it was football or baseball, and then he fact-checked it, and it was wrong. So he told AI it was wrong. But a lot of people would just go with it. And that's going to be the issue, is people are going to trust it very quickly. For us, our industry, there's a lot of it already. The call centers, I listened to an AI from another company the other day, and the customer called in, and they told them their water heater was leaking. And then AI asked, what type of water heater is it? Is it tankless or a tank water heater? Tank. And then AI went, you're welcome. Because it heard tank. Thanks. And so we got to hear like super funny ones. So there's where it's going to be nice is people aren't going to be sitting on hold, and AI can be taking their information and then get it to a real person. So it can be beneficial, but it also is, it's going to, I think a lot of people are going to be very angry talking to AI.
Well, you think the growth, like that's the early stages of it. And certainly if you call anything to do with the Canadian government, that's exactly, it's voice prompts to get you to the next thing. You never talk to a real human being, right? Like ever. And on that though, this is just the early days. Imagine 5 years from now and how much better a call center AI will be to actually get the person where they need to go. But I don't know about anybody else listening to this. I always want to talk to the person. The person is just, you can explain it. You're not looking for the right voice prompt to get a decent answer. And then you're still like, but is that the right answer? Like, I actually just want to talk to somebody.
Yeah, we're trying really hard to get it to the human touch still. And it's hard because people are, because of AI, are getting less patient with being on hold. And we've got several people. It goes through that we're trying to get it to somebody very quickly. We don't want them to wait 5 rings and then pick seven options. So it's a huge challenge because people are very impatient right now, and we also don't want them to sit on hold. No one has time for that. But AIs could help with it, but we won't. Yeah, I agree. It needs to get back to the human touch, the actual person.
You think it'll do anything to the concrete business?
No, I don't think so. Like, I mean, you see it in machinery, I guess, and equipment. You see a little bit of stuff, but I mean, our work is just, kind of knuckle dragging, get out there and bust your guts, I guess. I mean, it's not pretty. We just have to, you just give her, I guess. Yeah. But it's sledgehammers and shovels. We've actually never had tools get stolen. I know lots of trades guys get stolen. Nobody wants to steal sledgehammers and picks. It's kind of,
it's amazing.
It's one thing that's nice about having.
That's interesting because you'd think those would be the tools. I guess this is why I'm not a thief, because I would look at sledgehammers and pickaxes and stuff like that as like, I need those to complete the job I actually want to do. Because if I'm going to be a thief, I'm going to steal something that I never have to steal again.
Yeah.
And this is probably why I'm not a thief.
Yeah,
I put way too much thought into it.
HVAC vans are stolen to go do to steal stuff. Yeah, my dad, he had his stolen. I don't know. It was probably like 2001. Our vehicle was stolen, and then it hit. I don't know if it's just ATMs, but the ATM, the town we were in, and it was just used to do crimes because the angle grinders are in it, all the right equipment, and now with all the Milwaukee tools that these service techs are carrying, I think that we'll see more of that.
When people steal all these tools, do they like? Do they approach different companies and be like, "Hey, I got some tools. Do you want to buy them?" Or like, what do they do with all the tools they get?
We rarely find them. Like they must be, I don't know, there's some sort of network happening because you get right on Facebook, you get searching Kijiji.
Oh yeah,
and everyone knows their own tools, right? Like they've got their marks on it and where they've bled on it, and
so they go and sell them to the public online.
No, you don't find them online though. They must be going to Edmonton or leaving our area. And you rarely see it again. Some of the guys have found it on Facebook, but yeah, it's a really annoying thing. You just can never find them. Yeah, I've had several tool bags stolen, and like the tools, you can identify them, but you just never see them again. They're gone.
Your question about AI. Do you use AI a lot?
I find over the course of the last 6 months, probably my uptake in using it has grown.
Yeah.
And the reason, there's certain little things that I like using it for. Finding out about a guest. So if I invite on, I just had on Mel K. If I type into Grok, who is Mel K? It'll just list me off a whole bunch of things. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. It's doing the research that used to take me watching 4 interviews and reading a couple blogs, and it compiles it into almost like an essay format where I can, and bullet points. So I can be like, oh, I had no idea she did this and this and this. I can use it to summarize an episode now. So I can take my entire transcript, put it into Grok, and it'll spit out a summary of it.
Is Grok reading that to you, or is it all written form? Like, are you talking back and forth to Grok?
No. Like, I take the transcript. So AI now, like, so Spotify, Substack, they'll generate you an actual word by word transcript of this entire podcast.
Wow,
which is really cool. And like, to me, it's just a tool. I try to limit its thinking for me. But even on a virtual one, somebody was asking me, how did you pull that up so quick? I have Grok open all the time now on a virtual podcast. So when a guest throws out some general or some event, I'm like, I don't know, what the heck is that? I can literally type it in and it'll spit out real time, basically, you know, what they're talking about. So I can at least go, oh, it's this general over here. And then they're like, oh no. And then they'll rattle it off. That's what I like it for. I use it for editing. Quick Dick McDick was just in Lashburn for a fundraiser for the Lashburn Elementary School. And I wrote a speech. And, the long story is, back in college, when I was in high school, I was like a C student. And then in college, in English, I had an A+. And that should shock anyone who listens to me. Maybe not. I have no idea. I was never a great English student. No matter if I put a ton of time and effort into it, I had redundant thoughts in my essays. And so in college, my one of our teammates' wives, girlfriends at the time, went through and edited all my papers. She's like, you're saying this point over and over again. So then I'd take it back and okay. And then I bring it back and we go back and forth. When she turned me into an A+ student, AI does that for me. AI has become that girl for me, where I can write a speech, put it in there, and it edits out all the redundancies, and then it gives it back to me. And AI is not a human being. It'll say things and I'll be like, that sounds stupid. That is not what I want. And I have to take it and I have to rejig it all again. But it goes back and forth. Grammar, punctuation, a ton of that stuff that I'm very poor at. So I guess in that sense, yeah, I'm using it more. There's editing software now for podcasts to, do a bunch of stuff that is really time consuming, and it can do it really fast. But if you don't watch it back, you can see where it screws up because it can't. It's just not a human being. So it has its uses. I look at it like it's a tool on a tool belt, but it isn't the end all be all of like it can do exactly what I'm doing. Although, and maybe in the future it will. I have no idea. Maybe I'll be sitting here interviewing Caleb and Joey and doing just fine. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I think it's an amazing tool as well. I hear people that think it's going to take over. I hear people that, think it's all kinds of conspiracies, what they think it is. But I think that it is an amazing tool. I think our phones are an amazing tool as well. But I think it goes back to building. You can use it to build for good, or it's like a hammer. You can use a hammer to put all these things up on the wall, put the nails in, put things in place. But you can also use a hammer to smash stuff and break into the place where you want to steal the stuff from. And that's what I would look at AI. You can either use it to become dumber, or you can use it to
fine tune what you're doing
and become, because you also learn as well. You're like, oh yeah, actually I should have put a punctuation mark in there. Like there's things that when I use it for stuff, I'm like, yeah, no, I learned this in school, I think, but I forgot it. And it just kind of, it's a good tool. But
it's crazy some of the stuff coming out with AI though, right? Like you can, so Grok, when it first started, it was, it was fine. Now it's on like its fourth iteration, I think. I don't know, is it its fourth update? I don't even know what to call it, but now it's doing like short form videos and stuff where you can just prompt it with what you want in a video and it'll spit out things. Like that to me is wild. Like, like 5 years ago, I would have thought like, I wonder if I can ever create a video where you type in a thought you're having. I want Batman to talk to Jordan Peterson. This is I just wanted this for an image because I thought it would be funny. And I remember trying to do it like 4 or 5 years ago. And now what it gives me is completely different. I wonder where that is in 5 years, and then another 5 years, and then another 5 years. Like, I mean, an AI is improving so rapidly. It is eerie where I can see where the conspiracy theorists go. Like, this is going to take over society. Well, it's going to take over society if you give it all the power.
yeah. Drop your phone in a bucket of water, it'll probably turn off.
Used to. Now they're waterproof.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Actually, I was quite happy when they made it waterproof. I remember dropping it into the lake.
iPhone 7.
And it's still playing music as it went to the bottom. I'm like, there it is. Went down, grabbed it. It was in like 4 feet of water.
So awesome.
Put your head under, it's still playing music like that. Any final thoughts, boys? You're both like quiet on me today, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, you know what? It's just so relaxing out here. This might be an issue. It's pretty calm. Like, and looking out that window, nothing's changed the whole time we've been in here. It's great.
Well, it's different than the studio you're normally in. One of the reasons I didn't knock down a wall and like expand there is when people walk down the hall, you can hear it. I don't think I'm going to have that problem here.
No. And if it was a moose walking by and you could hear it, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice vibe in here. Like it's it's great.
Well, you're the first two in it. The first two, I mean, I've had the kids, I've had the book club testing things out, but the first one to actually go on the podcast. Maybe I should ask a few different questions, when it comes to it being the brand new studio that people might have. I don't know. Explain to them what you're seeing.
Well, you know what? We got a nice dark ceiling, so it's not distracting. The walls are, that walnut, right? Yeah, walnut is really nice. Yeah. I had a 4570 once, and it was this like exact color, and it was awesome. Some stainless, so we got to find that 4570 and get it out here. But yeah,
45.
It's a gun.
A gun.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, cowboy gun. Yeah, it really nice. Yeah, no, you'd shown me a couple of Google pictures and stuff with your ideas, and yeah, it's better than what you were showing us. Yeah, It's awesome. Yeah, and the chairs are sweet. Where the heck did you find these?
Wayfair.
Yes.
I was trying to find. I wanted gold chairs, and I asked Mel. Right, this is where a woman comes in. I'm like, I don't know where to even go. Right, I went to some of the stores locally in Lloyd, and I just couldn't find what I was looking for. And I'm like, I could go to Edmonton or something. And like, one of the things about shopping these days, like Black Friday is coming up, Cyber Monday is coming up, and there's just so many options online to like find exactly what you're looking for. So I looked at probably no less than 150 gold-ish chairs online. Man, that was a mind-numbing day. Like but in fairness, when they get in here, Jamie Sinclair had always been annoyed with the chairs in the current studio because they rotate, right? They're on rollers and everything. But when I first started, I just thought, I just need chairs. I don't need anything.
Roller chairs, yeah.
Well, the first time I was in you told me not to move my chair because you must know me fairly well because I probably would have been spinning that thing in circles because these are nice. You can't
move it.
You can't turn your back to the camera.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I was spinning all over in there, and I'm spinning all over in here. That's just how I sit, back and forth, switching. But it is nice. We haven't moved the chairs.
But the view out here from your studio is pretty phenomenal as well. Like you got the Shire out the window here. I'm half expecting to see hobbits out there looking for some snow-covered mushrooms, but
well, the audience won't be able to see that because with just the three of us, there's no camera pointed to the fourth chair that looks out the big window. But you're not wrong. Like, I mean, it's a pretty peaceful spot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We were out here last night, and was there a quarter of a moon last night? Like there was hardly any moon, and it was dark out here. And you look up, and like, I was sitting here, and I'm like, man, this is, growing up in the country, I there's a part of me that misses it, And last night I was sitting here and just looking up, and there's a shooting star. Oh, that's nice, right? There's not a sound. I couldn't even hear a coyote last night, and I was thinking half my mind goes, I'm going to hear a coyote or two or something. It was just peaceful. It was just quiet. And in today's world, certainly myself living in town, I probably don't get out. Probably not many of us, unless you live in the rural countryside, get out of the city, out of the hustle and bustle, the pace of today's world near enough. And one of the things about being out here is that's certainly what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, no, I think you've done a good job of that. It's there's no hustle and bustle. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Any final thoughts before I let you out of here? My enthusiasm for today knows no bounds, but you two are pretty gauged today.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Usually I got lots more to say. I'm just so relaxed, and it's nice to be out here, and it's great to be friends with you, Shaun, and it's been a good run, and
many more days ahead. Not a good run.
You don't think we're done?
I don't think we're done. No.
No, it's awesome. No, appreciate it, and I can't wait to be out here some more. Yeah, seeing all your kids on these chairs, and I'll have to drag one of my boys out here to check it out sometime. And
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll have to do one with.
Well, I mean, heck, your kids helped Caleb in putting the concrete in.
Yeah, they did. They really enjoyed it. Yeah, and we actually, I purposely kind of, I guess, picked them to help me. There's some of the other guys on the crew obviously did a lot of the work as well, but I wanted those guys out here to be part of something that's we really like the work that you do and getting the truth out to people, actually having real news and discussing things that need to be discussed and hearing both sides of the argument. I think COVID really brought that forward, that we need both sides. We need to actually have a conversation, not a monologue. And I think you do a really good job of bringing that out in people and getting the story out. So I wanted them to be part of that. So yeah.
Yeah, sorry boys, I didn't bring you out to the studio yet. No, that's a good point. Yeah,
Well,
awesome.
there'll hopefully be many years ahead where that can be done, and we can maybe even have a little bit of fun with them out in the studio. Because the kids, I was telling it, like, I got them in here, had them all sitting in the chairs, and I knew if I didn't have everything set up, they would be annoyed because there's only one mic, and they'd be fighting over it. So they all had their own mic, their own headsets, everything. And one of the questions I asked him was, what do you think Dad actually does? And, you know, the two oldest had a couple of thoughts. And my youngest looks at me and he's like, work. And I'm like, well, that's right. The other two are just howling. He's like, I don't get the question. What do you do? You work. I'm like, well, fair enough. Right. Like, it's cool to get the kids in here. I've recorded it because, someday when they're older, I think they'll look back and want to hear their thoughts on a few different things we talked about in here. But
I think you're going to really like that video forever.
Forever. Yeah. Man. Being a dad is cool.
Yeah, it's pretty much the best job we have in life. It's awesome. Yeah, it's my favorite part of my job is having kids. Yeah,
they're a real blessing. Yeah. It's been a while since we've, I think the rink in Hillmon's last time we've seen all the kids together, but we should do that again.
Soon.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thanks for hopping in and doing this, being the first in the new studio. And, well, hopefully there will be more to come. I'm sure there will. But either way, thanks again for hopping in here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.